Mr. Cameron Wilson, the first time a sheep was shorn, not by my dad, on Cross Flat.
Yeah.
It's more like kind of like, you know, like English-y, kind of like nice houses, that kind of vibe.
What?
We spoke about earbuds or earphones, and then we went off on a lot of tangents, and we never actually answered why we prefer headphones.
I've been Cammy.
I've been Iona.
And we are both
Fed by Farmers.
Hello and welcome to the Fed by Farmers podcast with me, Cammy Wilson.
And me, Iona Murray.
We are doing a Friday chat today. We're gonna talk, and we're just gonna talk and not worry too much about it. Get another podcast out. This will be our third podcast this week.
I know, we're really saturating it, aren't we?
Too much.
We're a bit much.
Yeah, overkill.
Bit much.
Folk will be, if they weren't sick of us already, they'll be sick of us now. As always, thanks to our sponsors, which are
Crystalyx and Animax.
Yes, thanks to both of them for coming on board and making dreams come true in the form of this podcast. You did the intro yourself for gyms on Tuesday.
Will you stop leaving me?
Yeah, I liked that he's used the cinematic mode on the camera though. It was quite, for anyone that watched on YouTube, it's quite...
Well, what was it like?
Quite dreamy footage. It's like you're in crystal clear focus and the background's all blurred.
Oh, I like it.
Yeah. It was good.
Just
actually.
a different vibe.
Yeah, well, it just reminds you how good the iPhone is.
iPhone's incredible.
Like, we should probably use that mode more often, but I don't know how it works in like a...
What were you doing? Why were you not here?
Shearing. I was shearing. It was the last sort of half dry day of the week, and I couldn't come away and not keep shearing sheep till 8 o'clock that night because you just had to squeeze in as much as you could. So that was the real reason. I was supposed to come and do it, but I couldn't come away from. I couldn't possibly come in here and podcast when there was a dry day outside. That was the reality.
Yeah,
of
okay.
It. What's been happening with your week?
Well, we're at the beginning of the weekend. I had a nice weekend. Was at a wedding.
Yeah, but this is meant to be a Friday.
But
chat.
I can't just make up what I've done.
No, but you don't need to say it was the beginning of the week. Just tell us what you've done in the last 7 days. Because
Okay.
it's 7 days since we last recorded the Friday. Well, I don't think we did one last week, but
Okay, no, I get you.
in your imagination.
Yeah, and I do struggle using my imagination.
Yeah.
I was at a wedding.
Yeah. How was the wedding?
Lovely, really nice. Up in St Fillions. I hadn't been up that neck of the woods. Comrie, you been there?
Potentially at some point.
It's lovely. It's really nice.
Yep.
It's more like kind of like, you know, like English-y, kind of like nice houses, that kind of vibe.
What?
No, like...
We
do
don't
you
have
know,
nice houses in Scotland.
no, we do, but you know, like just like English villages are just like kind of different houses and...
No, I don't, Iona. What kind of English? England's a big place. What are you trying to say?
No, what I'm saying is, you know how just English...
Is it just that the village you come from is mainly council housing?
Maybe.
So you don't know what a nice village looks like? Could that be
Maybe, but
possible?
name a nice Ayrshire village.
A nice Ayrshire village, Symington?
Okay, I've never been.
No, you've never been to Symington?
No.
You live next door to it.
I'd never been to Sturton until I came for this job.
Sturton's almost a town.
It's got a train station. What makes it a village or a town?
Wow. Good question.
I bet there is something like a church or something.
What, a city
Cathedral.
is a cathedral, that's right. Or is it a university? Is it both? Is it just a cathedral?
I think it's just a cathedral. Let's think of a city without a university.
I don't know.
Okay.
They've all got everybody's got a bloody university.
Like, you know, like St Andrews. St Andrews gives an English vibe. Do you know what I mean? That's what I mean about up that.
I could probably imagine St Andrews having that sort of...
Yeah.
So it was a Tory village, you're meaning? Basically, that's what you're saying.
St Andrews, that's why it's not a city, because it doesn't have a cathedral, but it's got a university.
Okay, that's a good point. Ashley, could you possibly tell us what the difference between a town, what makes a town and a village, please? Because that's something I've never known. And we are going to talk a little bit of farming. Okay. Well, I actually tell me what has been happening in your farming stratosphere. You had a tup shorn.
Yes.
We made
Mr. Cameron Wilson, the first time a sheep was shorn, not by my dad, on Cross Flat.
Yeah, and thanks to him for allowing us to shear it for a video for shearing season, another thing we did. So that was nice. That was my first time at Cross Flat, which is Iona's family farm. It was lovely.
Yeah. It was in Al's who came to film. He took some really nice shots of the farm and things as well.
Oh, yeah,
on
we'll
the
cut
drone.
that into the YouTube video, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's put those, we'll get some of those pictures and shots into the YouTube
They're
video
lovely.
of this podcast. Do you know another thing I want to talk about just before we touch on my farming week and the woes that betide me? No, there's that many.
I can't wait.
No, there's that many. And it's something I wanted to bring up on the podcast. I've not spoke to you about it before, right?
Okay.
But it came to me, and it's something I've never thought about in my life
Right.
until the other day. I was at the petrol station, okay? And I noticed there was a queue of people wanting to use the pumps that would fill them up on the left-hand side, but there was lots of space for people wanting to fill up on the right-hand side. So, you know what I mean by that?
Yes.
Yeah. So it got me thinking, do we have some sort of regulator to keep that balanced?
What side your petrol cap's on?
Yeah, because I feel it could just get stupid if someone wasn't keeping control of it.
Yes, there must be, but can I also just say, all petrols that you can, all hoses reach both sides.
I know what they do, but it's just...
I know you don't want to risk the embarrassment.
Well, it's that. It's such a all or nothing. Like,
I know.
like when you park at that pump, right, and you commit to reaching over your car
You're,
to fill up, if it doesn't make it...
you're squishing it onto the ground, you're pretending it's going in.
It's like if you get stage fright at the urinal, you just stand there for the right amount of time and then you just give it a shake anyway and walk off as if you have, but actually you haven't.
Does that sometimes happen? The whole urinal thing, I just can't
Very
get on
rare.
board with.
If you need a pee, you need a pee, but
Yeah.
I've seen me thinking, I better go before we go, and you maybe go in and then
Yeah,
it's like,
you're not actually needing...
it's like I feel like an imposter.
Yeah.
So I'm here for a pee, but I don't actually really need a pee.
Yeah.
I'm just standing with a bunch of guys at urinals, and then I'm like, oh.
But that is just a weird environment, isn't it? Like urinals, like that is weird for me to imagine. I just can't imagine going to a urinal and there being somebody there that I kind of know. Like, do you make small talk? Like, do you chat?
It's better if you know them.
No, but not really know them. You just kind of know them.
I just, yeah.
Like, do you make small talk?
Oh, you have to.
Do you?
Yeah, of course
Well, that
you
is so weird. That is really weird to me. But of course you do. Obviously, you're not going to just ignore.
It'd be weirder if you just stood there with somebody kind
No,
of in absolute silence, just holding your willy. It'd be weird.
I know, but the whole thing's...
Do you know what's one of the most awkward things? This actually happened to me a wee while ago, and it like threw me totally. Is like, so there's general etiquette at urinals.
Okay, interesting. I want to know what that is.
Generally speaking, if you're the first man in, so say there's 5 urinals.
Oh, right. So it's sometimes just a basin, or they're always individual.
Yes. No, not always individual. Sometimes it's rarer these days, right? And if you hardly ever see one, just one big one.
Right, okay.
But yeah, like at the rugby and stuff, it's just one big one.
Yeah,
so it works
but less
better.
likely.
Well,
Yeah.
that's better that way because if you've like, you can just everyone just shoves in tight.
And do you?
Oh, you're like shoulder to shoulder, like aye.
Right. Okay.
Absolutely, you shove in. If there's any sort of gap, you shove in.
Right.
Some of us don't need as big a gap as others, so it's ideal for that system. So speaking from experience, so like the urinal etiquette. So say there's 5 and you're like the first man into and there's nobody else there. General etiquette would be you take the one nearest the wall.
Okay.
A side.
Furthest away. Oh, it doesn't matter.
Either side. Probably generally I would go furthest away.
Okay.
Just for a safety point of view, if someone was to come upon you, it gives you more distance to
Defend yourself.
prepare yourself.
Yeah.
Quite a
Fragile situation.
It's a very fragile situation if you take the one nearest the door and everybody that then comes in is walking by your back
Yeah.
and you can't really see them.
Yeah.
You want to be over in that far corner with a half eye on the door.
Yeah. Yeah. I get that.
in
Yeah.
case, do you know what I mean? Because it's one thing we don't want to is you don't want to be getting. It's like that. So you don't want to get caught with your trousers down.
Quite literally.
That might be exactly where it came from. Although, see the people that's a urinal etiquette. If you pee at the urinal with your trousers down, that's a no. They're the worst kind of folk.
So
Nobody does that.
So you don't.
Kids do it, but no.
I feel like we're getting.
You won't remember this, but like when you're at school, there'd always be kids that would just like, because you had urinals with your kids at school, would be like trousers at the ankles for a pee in the urinal.
So what do you do? Just.
That's what your fly's for.
Okay,
Oh, see?
right, okay.
Great
I think
invention.
it's so funny, those females, like, I've just never thought about any of that.
Yeah, it's a surreal experience.
Yeah.
So you'd
So
always
etiquette,
you'd always take the N one, and then, like, generally speaking, you'd always, the next person would come in would always leave at least one gap. I mean, general etiquette would be they take the other end one,
Okay,
and then if there's 5, the next guy takes the middle one,
work your way in.
and then you work your way for there. You take the the one either side. But you'll find quite often etiquette, if there's a space either side, the next step, if there's 3 people there, there's 5 urinals, there's 3 people there, the next guy in would, generally speaking, just go and use a cubicle.
Oh, okay, so that sometimes happens as well.
Aye, well, generally speaking, it's like, if there's 3 cubicles there,
Yeah, why wouldn't you?
rather than going stand
Would you
shoulder
ever
to shoulder.
choose just to go in the cubicle even if there was just 2? Or would you would take the
I'm a
centre?
urinal guy.
Okay.
Aye. It just gets quick and easy. And
Yeah, you're in and you're out.
aye.
And do males wash their hands after they've weed generally?
I do.
Okay.
Yeah, I do. Because I do. In a public, I do.
Just on...
That's urinal etiquette.
No, it's interesting though for me.
I'm going to talk about the fact, but you've totally took me off this. I can't even remember how you did that
Petrol.
to me there. But yeah, that's one for you. Is like, is it regulated in some way? Because I just find if you just let every manufacturer choose one side, it's a disaster.
It's a disaster. It's got to be.
Get ready for a successful turnout and choose Crystalyx this grazing season. Spring grass is typically fast-growing and lush. However, it can contain high levels of potassium, which reduces magnesium availability. Crystalyx Cattle Hi-Mag incorporates multiple magnesium sources and is proven through trials at Glasgow University to help maintain normal blood magnesium levels. With 35% sugar and a unique blend of vitamins, minerals and trace elements, Crystalyx Cattle Hi-Mag supports optimal performance at turnout.
But actually, did you find out the difference between a village and a town?
Towns tend to have more than 10,000 people, and they have things like train stations, hospitals, secondary schools, and at least one place of worship, whereas a village doesn't typically have those things.
Okay. Okay. So it's a kind of fine...
So what would Shirton be? Train station, tick. Oh, what's the population?
What is the population of Stewarton? Here we go. This is really niche
Niche,
because
I
nobody
know.
knows where Stewarton is. It's a little village in Ayrshire.
I wonder in
Maybe
other...
a town.
I wonder in other countries...
It is a town.
Is it?
It's the Bonnet Town.
Is that what it's called?
Aye, the Bonnet Town. Because this is where Mackie's bonnets were from. Well, they've stopped the bonnets now. It's
What are Mackie's bonnets? Hats?
Aye, like military bonnets.
Oh, right, okay.
But that's what it's called, the Bonnet Town. How many, what's the population? 7,700. We're getting there. Your sister's moving here, so that's
Yes.
7,702.
Yeah, and she's having a baby.
Soon to be 3.
Yeah.
It's climbing all the time.
And it is. And you're trying to get me to move here, so...
704. So let's talk a bit about farming
Okay,
in my farming week. There you go.
And I can't wait to hear it, but I've got one other wee thing just on petrol stations. Do you know do you know why you're not allowed to use your phone?
So in case you compare prices with local petrol stations.
No, I mean I don't know.
Oh right,
I got called out.
Oh, they do. They absolutely shame you.
Yeah,
on the tannoy.
and I'll never again use it.
Do you know, I do
mortified.
a hands free.
We speakerphone.
No, like my headphones.
Oh,
Now you can just keep listening to your podcast or whatever while you fill up. No bother.
Can I? Sorry.
Or you talk on the phone. So if you're speaking to somebody on the phone, hands free. They don't do anything.
Yeah. Okay. God, devil.
No, they try literally playing with fire.
Yeah.
Well, like
yeah. So what is it? They think it might start a fire.
it might potentially cause a spark. I think that might set a fire. But like, have I ever heard of it happening? I'm
No,
not saying
because
do
they're
it.
on
I'm
it.
not
Because
saying do
they're
it.
on it.
Because thanks to the good people of the petrol stations, yes.
Just
A gas station if you're in Muirkirk, America.
One final things before wrapping up.
Before I get to talk about my
Yeah.
week. Yeah.
And I'm sorry, I'm really hogging
No,
this
it's
one.
okay. No, it's good. It's usually me.
Is
You do Emma a lot. We talked about that.
so I'm going to work on that. No,
Nearly did it there.
I did.
Natural pause.
That's going to take a bit of work actually. I
Nearly
feel
did
like
it
I
there.
can't speak
I know.
now.
I can't speak.
Almost did it again. I've had so many.
It's like you don't know how to start a sentence now.
I don't start every single sentence with M. Maybe I do.
Not everyone, but a lot of them.
I was even never saying that there. So many people, and I'm going to say 5, maybe 6, have got in touch. Basically, on a previous podcast, we spoke about earbuds or earphones, and then we went off on a lot of tangents, and we never actually answered why we prefer headphones.
Oh, that was because I said I prefer headphones. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, that's right. Yeah, actually, shout out to Hazel Brown. She messaged me directly because I know Hazel asking the answer to that.
It's funny that people have...
We're so intrigued in that. Okay, so, right, I can't remember what the tangent was, but right, let's get into it. So the headphones I'm talking, they're like over-ear headphones like this, and I prefer them to the in-ear. Now, I have both. I have in-ear ones for if I'm going to run or doing some sort of sports, and they're good for that. Like, I could never wear them if you're doing something you're going to be sweating, but they are great if you're working. For various reasons. One, depending on the type of job you're doing, they cancel out the noise.
Yep.
So, like, for instance, in scanning season, it's great when I'm shearing a lot of sheep and especially blackies, and they're banging their horns through the crate all day.
Yep.
And your face is right at it. It's great wearing them because it totally blocks that out. But you can still hear people speak. It just it doesn't totally block it out. It just dampens it a little bit. And it's the main one for me is battery life.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, absolutely. That is the main
But
one
surely,
for me.
like the Apple earbuds, surely they'll have good battery.
Nothing like them. I mean, like I can go like 2 or 3 days without charging them.
I-
You'll not get a full day out of a pair of wireless earphones, I would say.
Okay.
You might get some.
I've
But even if they do a full day, you're charging them that night for sure. Like you're never getting like 2 or 3 days.
For me, I've just found them so like I can't wear in-ear ones. Like, but I've got a narrow ear canal, so
That's the tangent off one.
because the ear hole. I'm mortified. Why didn't we think of ear canal?
I know.
That was ridiculous.
The difference is my education was free. So have I mentioned this? Sorry. I won't keep going on about it. I'll let your dad do that. Money well spent.
There I go again.
But it's okay. It's a good way. That was a good That's like you like changing the subject to me talking nonsense. On to Cammy. How was your farming week?
That's exactly what I want to know.
Thanks, Iona. Well, fly strike's been the big problem this week.
Okay.
I think there'll be a lot of people listening this last fortnight, it's been rife. And we've been working through finishing getting lambs sorted and ready for summer, getting click on all the lambs, click on about half the ewes. And we've actually done a video with a bit of guidance from Elanco about proper application of click, because that's
Great one.
yeah. And I may as well talk about a few because a lot of people won't see the videos, but they'll hear me on the podcast here. So proper application is like a floor stroke method, and it's like 2 half strokes down the spine and then one either side of the tail, and it's
Okay.
like 9 mil per go, 36 mil per ewe. This is for the sheep I'm talking about. Obviously, it's less for the lambs, but it's the same application method. But interesting ones that I'd never thought of. When you click the lambs, you should hold them in till it dries. Because what happens is when you're separating the lambs from the mums and you're doing anything, the first thing the lamb does is it runs over and dives in for a sook. A lot of the time it's not because it's hungry, it's just like a wee reassurance sook.
Yep.
You know what it's like when a lamb's reunited to its mum? First thing
straight
it does, in for a sook, it'll take 2 dunts and then she'll start walking. But Elanco made the great point that the lamb doing that will run over, rub the click off on its mum's skirt,
Yep.
and then it won't have enough does. Now, I used to think it was great because you click the lambs, let them go, they run over to the mums and they put a wee bit in the mum and that helps the mum and the lamb. But it was made clear to me, and it makes absolute sense, that by that logic, you now have a lamb that's underdosed. So you're not going to get your 19 weeks cover
Yep.
because some of the click has rubbed off onto the mum, and you have a ewe that's underdosed. She's got a wee bit in her skirt, which is going to do next to nothing anyway. So really,
So nobody's leaving with a full dose.
it's a lose-lose.
Yeah, that makes sense.
But I used to think, it's good, a wee bit on the ewe, that'll help her till clipping time. But actually, by that logic, you're rubbing some off the lamb.
Yep.
So it doesn't make any sense.
No, it doesn't.
So that was one good thing that I learned from the click point of view. There's other interesting things too, like we're talking about like Dissect and Crovex. Obviously, they're like a type of poison, basically. Obviously, it's designed to more so treat, they can prevent fly strike, but more so treat instances of fly strike. An interesting one, and I was always quite against it and haven't done it for a few years now, was apply Crovex to an open wound.
Okay.
So, sometimes you get bad fly strike, there'll be like a hole. Now, sometimes if it's a bad hole, you're too late, it's job's done.
Yeah.
But they'll sometimes just get through that first layer.
Yep.
And Crovex is licensed to be applied to that.
Okay.
Now, to me, I always thought that was a bit brutal because it's like, Crovex burns you. Like, so I always thought, what it does to human skin? So I thought putting that on like a wound, it seems mental. But it's actually okay for it. it'll nip a little bit, kind of like putting TCP or something on a cut.
Yeah.
Or some, put whiskey on a sore tooth, a cut gum or whatever. It'll hurt, but it will kill any maggots that have got burrowed into the skin.
Okay.
Whereas applying Click on top won't do that.
Okay.
And Click works by preventing eggs hatching out. It doesn't kill maggots, but it binds to the lanolin. So like with the lamb, the smaller you do them, the better, because the dose rate is lower.
Of course.
And then binds to the lanolin of that lamb and grows with the lamb. So it expands as the lamb grows. It keeps the cover across the whole lamb for 19 weeks.
Okay.
So
that's clever.
You apply a dosage to a 20 kilo lamb. It'll cover that lamb till it's 38 kilos if you get it there in 19 weeks. If it's a Texel, it'll cover it till it's 38 kilos, which I thought was interesting as well.
Yeah, that is.
And also, you don't. They didn't say this, but might have alluded to. Krovec, there's a big danger, and I got sick with it last year because of a leaky gun. It was leaking onto my hand. Real danger of it in your skin. Whereas because the type of thing Click is, it's nowhere near as harmful.
Okay.
It won't really cause you any issues because
Right.
it's. I can't remember the term for it. It's not an insecticide. It's like almost like a cream type prevention thing. It's not like a burning acid killer like Krovec is,
okay.
which I thought was interesting as
Yeah,
well.
that
And certainly,
is.
I think most farmers know that. Like, Click's quite nice to work with. I mean, it sounds weird, but it almost comes out like strawberry milk. Like even the colour of it, it's pink. Even the colour of it is not soothing, but it's not threatening.
Yes.
Whereas Krovec's like
the
this
blue, harsh.
Aye, burning, nipping your eyes.
Yeah.
Like, you're gonna suffer with this when you're older, type thing. So yeah, some interesting things there.
As one pro of Muir Kirk, we don't get much bother with fly strike.
Yeah, your dad did say that actually when I was we were oversharing that tub. He was saying, it would usually be well into June before they saw anything, potentially July.
Yeah.
But it's definitely getting worse. Fly strike's getting worse. I don't know whether it's the whole warm, everything's getting warmer and wetter. It's probably good for flies, but we've clicked all the Cheviot. We've clicked about 500 sheep, so Click's a fortune. We've clicked 500 sheep.
So talk price. So like, how much would that be?
A 5 litre bottle of Click is £250.
And how many sheep are you doing with that?
Well, let's quickly. 5 litres is 36 mil per sheep. Click 40 mil divided into 5 is what 120.
120?
125. It's only do 125 sheep. £2 a sheep.
I mean, I knew it was expensive.
5,000 divided by 40 is 125, isn't it?
Ashley.
It is. I didn't calculate it is. Wow. Right, okay, so if that maths is right, don't quote me on that because I'm just riffing here as we speak, but if it's £2 per sheep, it's a disgrace that we're charging £1.50 for shearing.
Oh my God, it is. That is insane when you think about that.
That's a disgrace. If that's what it is to click a sheep, it's a disgrace that it's £1.50 to shear the bloody thing. Isn't it?
Yeah.
I'm going to need to look into this more. I think clipping only to be £2. How can that be?
That can't be,
Isn't that
Cammy.
mad?
What goes into shearing?
Sweat, blood, sweat and tears.
Literally.
That's something to think about there, folks. If you think your clipping's dear, it's £2 to click a sheep. I don't know if that's right, though. Is that right?
How...
Something to think about.
mental.
Most foragers don't supply sheep and cattle with enough cobalt, copper, iodine and selenium, critical to digestion, immunity, reproduction and growth. When it comes to supplementation, there's a danger of under or oversupply. But when bolusing with Animax Tracesure, you can be sure every animal has enough for up to 6 months in one single application. Animax, giving what it takes.
Yeah, so another thing we've done, so that's the click chat out the road, that's one thing I'll say about it, it's £2 a sheep, but my God.
I know.
It's about the best product ever made for sheep. It's, apart from maybe a fluke dose, it's bloody incredible and it works when you apply it right. The shearing.
How's the hernia with that?
Fine.
Okay.
No bother.
Good.
Because I'm bent over, my jeans are very tight as well,
Okay.
and I'm bent over all day, so it keeps it squeezed in basically. Suffering, pain, anyone watch YouTube, my skin all breaks out quite bad at this time of year, usually because, sometimes if I've high pressure, high stress, like, getting near the end of a month and there's a lot of bills to pay and we're struggling to get the money to pay it, that brings out the bad skin. So if you all see me with bad skin on YouTube, it's usually because of the debts are getting close to crushing us. But in this case, that's not the case. It is We've got used to that now. It's just the pain, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, just very sore back. And I say it's always the same at the start. It kind of is always the same at the start, actually, because you're on kind of stickier sheep as well and slower shearing sheep. But yeah, sore back is the main, nothing else really sore.
Also exciting, by the time this podcast is out, you might have another child.
Yeah.
You might be...
We're actually recording this a day after due date, so like the phone's there if Lizzie phones. But yeah, she runs over a bit with a lot of them.
Does she?
Well, a lot of them, the last two. So she's run over. So
got previous.
She's got previous for it. She likes to cook them right. This is a 10-pounder coming, I think. She likes to break her record each time. So yeah, it might be here by the time this is out. If it is, it'll be announced on the sheep game. But yeah, Lizzie's still out. She's out checking sheep just now. She's still been out working with us. We showed the tups last night, which is why we couldn't do the intro for Jim Craig's thing. Good to get them out of the way. We're well ahead. All the hogs are done.
That's good.
Of all our hogs show.
That's brilliant.
And we've a couple of full days shearing booked in for next week. I'm looking forward to it.
Good.
I would just shear every day if I could.
Yeah.
Like, it's just other commitments, but it is good. In terms of other farming things now, we are getting caught out a bit with grass.
Okay.
Too much grass.
Yeah.
And it's such a tricky... The reality is, I could run another 1,000 ewes with lambs. That's the reality. I certainly...
Well, you're
certainly 700. Let's not be over the top. 700.
Sheep an acre.
Aye, that is the reality. Now, we've got loads of bits shut off for cutting for silage, but like still a lot of bits of sheep can't keep up. So then you have to like start topping grass, but it's like, where do you draw the line? Like, do you lamb 2,000 sheep and then...
No, Cammy, you don't.
You're tearing
Maybe
your
you
hair
need to re-watch some of the videos.
Aye, go back to my lambing vlogs. That's it. Time heals all wounds.
I know.
It's nice and sunny and the lambs are out running about, looking great actually. And you start to think, I could run a few more of these. It wasn't that bad. You know, the trauma's left me behind. My Texel lambs, I know they're 3 weeks old. My Texel lambs are 3 weeks older than my lambs out the Cheviates, but they're looking tremendous. Whereas the lambs out the Cheviates, I'm just not... They're looking great when they're born. I feel they're stalling a little bit. They're on a much worse bit of ground.
Okay.
Very old grass, rashy, not flash at all. Good grass for Cheviates. Like, it's good Cheviate ground, but I mean, the most of the Texel lambs are on reseeds. Like, the difference is...
Yeah.
And they're big lambs out of meals. That's the other thing too. But yeah, I'm hoping the Cheviate lambs take a wee lift in the next wee while. Just need to monitor that and see how that goes. And scald is the other big thing we've got issues with now.
What's that?
Like scadet feet.
Oh, right, okay.
Aye,
what do you call it?
Well, people call it scald. I always call it scad.
Yeah.
But like, I know a lot of people, I think English people call it scald.
Right, okay.
Maybe some Scottish people do. What do you call it?
Scad.
Aye, scad. We call it scad too. But I thought I'd just go...
I know, interesting.
I'll just give in to whatever else says. I think the actual term for it is scald.
Okay.
Yeah, and we call it scad. Like we say yell yows.
But it's yelled.
But it's yelled.
Yeah.
But we'd call them yell.
Yeah.
I think it's things like... Or geld. Some people say geld in England.
Do they?
Yeah.
That sounds like a kind of islandy thing, geld.
No, I think that's an English thing.
English.
Aye. But yeah, so... that is about it for my farming endeavours, and it's deciding whether we foot bath the lambs or go mental. And I know some people do this, and it's quite effective, and just lift every lamb and spray its feet.
It sounds insane. Why wouldn't you just foot bath?
Couple of reasons it was put to me. Like, if you foot bath with something like formalin, you might do more harm than good to wee lambs. If you're not, you need to be bang on with your mix. If not, a wee bit weaker, like quite soft skin, wee lambs.
Yeah,
putting them
soft
in formalin.
hoofs as well.
Soft hoof. Yep. You could use something like golden hoof, but then you ideally stand them in golden hoof. The other thing is that first time you try and foot bath lambs can be heartbreaking.
Why?
Well, lambs do not want
trying
to
go
jump
through.
in.
Yeah, no, actually,
You've been
I'm
there.
having flashbacks. Yeah.
And like, you think lifting every lamb would be harder work, but like the amount of times I've been like, try to quite often you literally pick the lamb up and put it in the foot bath, it runs back out, you throw it a wee bit further, it turns and comes back, next thing you're getting formalin splashed all over you, and then that's one lamb, you have 1,000 more to go.
That's so
and
true.
actually, see in hindsight, thinking about it, and I know like good farmers that do this, just get a boy to pick them up and spray the feet.
And do you as well, because your ground's all over the place, I take it you have to take the system, do you take like the Tapari and a foot bath?
Yeah, that's another
Like a
reason.
portable-
That's another good reason. Yeah, I would take the plastic foot bath and
Yeah.
fill it up at the bit and do all that.
Whereas
Yeah,
I
so
suppose at my dad's, he can just take them all into the box. And then
see if
put
you've got a
them
proper
through.
good forcing pen and a good system for
then
doing
it's
it.
fine.
No bother. You just lie a fleece, like there's a top tip for anyone, you lie a fleece in the foot bath
Yeah.
and they'll run through it, no bother. But you'll see that haul in the plastic foot bath to every bit of grit. Then you have to haul the
That's
water. And then you need to haul enough water for 2 or 3 refills because they're skiddling about and spraying it everywhere.
Like, we don't realise how lucky we have it.
Yeah, and then if the grass is wet at all, they're just straight onto the grass, washing it off. Like, you don't have a hard standing to stand on and let it soak in, dry
Yeah.
in. So I can see the real merits in this. Just grab the
I
bloody
know
lambs.
at first I was like insane, but actually,
But just grab the lambs and quickly spray their feet and throw them over the side. They're not too big yet. Like, they're not,
yeah.
you know, I mean, it'd be a workout for somebody because they're strong now, but it's the kind of job I would love when I was
If you
younger.
were younger, yeah.
Oh, it's like it's like a workout. It's like a mission. It's like getting it. So we might end up doing that. But anyway, that's enough chat about SCAD. Anything else you want to cover before we wrap it up?
No, I'm happy.
No, good. Well, listen, I hope you've enjoyed this little chat. We've covered a couple of random things. Who is that?
My sister.
Ilse phoning. So how dare she? Does she not know you work till 5 o'clock? So that's that's us for this one. If you would like to support the podcast, please do check out our website, fedbyfarmers.co.uk. You can buy some. You can't actually buy that fleece I is wearing. That's a new one that we're trying out. It's coming soon. And this is my sheep game jacket. So this is very all last minute.
I did have my quarter zip on, but then it had a wee something on it.
Oh,
So I
you've
thought
slivered
better
on
not to wear a dirty one. Maybe it was.
Yeah.
Than wear one you can't buy.
Yeah, I get what you're saying. So yeah, check out the website, fedbyfarmers.co.uk. You can support us there, or nop into your local Cars Billington. Cars Billington have stocked the full Fed by Farmers range, so you don't have to go online. Just next time you're in at Cars, pick up a hat or a quarter zip or a fleece or anything you like to support the podcast. It all comes back to us, and we appreciate it. Thanks always to Crystalyx and Tracesure. I've been Cammy.
I've been Iona.
And we're both
Fed by Farmers.